that I'm on item 63. So I'm going to call the Public Safety Committee meeting to order. Let the record reflect that all 5 committee members are present. We'll start with item 63, 2024-0279, renewal operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Andrew Schrobel. This is Mr. Schrobel's second appearance. Is he here?
Yep.
Please come forward.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Schrobel, thank you for coming tonight. I believe that there were issues.
Letter of recommendation.
Thank you so much.
Yes, pass it on. Thank you.
Okay. There were issues that needed to be resolved when you last attended, which was concern of you being able, part of your probation, to work with alcohol. So I see that you have a letter
That is from the owner of Capri.
from Capri.
Yep. And I
Okay.
have it on my my Open Gov. They put it up on there.
Okay, and we
that-
can confirm that
You can confirm that. My
is-
probation sends it over. So I got it amended to where I can possess alcohol at my probation's their decision. So technically, you guys were right before when you said I couldn't possess alcohol. Turns out when I looked into it, it was correct. So we got it fixed.
Okay.
They sent it over Monday. I confirmed with Jenny. I think she's the clerk, and everything's uploaded up there. So.
All right.
Okay, so, Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you, Andrew.
Yep.
How can we take, I understand this is a letter from your boss saying you
Yeah.
can have alcohol. Can we
It's
take
in your
that?
packet.
There we go.
No, that's just a letter of recommendation from my boss. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with, yeah. What you told me last time, the last meeting, was have everything sent to West Dallas.
Yes.
So they sent everything to you. So I was assuming it got to you. I don't know if it did or did not.
It was in our packet.
Okay, just making sure.
All right. yeah,
okay.
and What has been provided to me by the clerk
Okay,
from Patrick Lenz, was
Yep,
probation.
probation.
Parole agent.
yep,
It says, this department does not object to his possession of a liquor license or employment where said license is in use. So with that, I move approval.
Okay.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
appreciate
Thank you for
it.
coming back.
Thank you guys.
Hold tight. Oh, I'm sorry, opposed.
Okay, okay,
Okay, so 4-1.
okay,
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
it will go to the floor for final vote.
okay.
Okay. Did you want this back?
Oh, no, go, we can get rid of it, trash it.
All right.
Yep,
Sounds good.
yep.
Thank you. You can put that in the file. All right, you're all good.
Go, appreciate
If
it.
you want to hang out for the vote, you can. Otherwise, whatever happens, you'll be
Okay.
notified.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll hang around for it.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, item 64, 2024-0362, renewal operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Chris Schutte. Is Chris here? Was there any correspondence?
No, I believe this is actually a second appearance too, and I talked with city attorney, and if you would like to have us send a letter of an intent not to renew, then unless they contact us for a hearing, it would be denied. So for this and the next all the renewals, that we could do that.
Okay,
If you wanna direct us to do that.
okay. We will direct you to do that. I think that would be a great idea. So with that being said, we can make a motion on this, correct?
Motion
Is
to
the-
deny,
Okay, based on?
non-appearance, record.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, item 65, 2024-0361, renewal operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Danielle Nichols. Is Danielle here?
Yep.
Hi, Miss Nichols.
Hello.
Please have a seat. Miss Nichols, the reason that the applicants are here tonight, whether renewal or new, is because when you're applying or renewing, there's certain things that come up on your record that the committee here would have questions for that could oftentimes be substantially related to the licensing activity. So with that being said, I'm looking at a report here with several different violations on it dating back from 2019. This sends a red flag in some ways, but I'm looking right now, most of them were operating a vehicle after suspension. Now, some may think that that does not relate to a licensing activity. However, my personal opinion is it does relate to an activity when you're not following the law. And this is something that we would expect as a committee, council, and within our ordinances that you obey. We need to count on the fact that you're going to be responsible for other people. You're going to call the police. You're going to cooperate with the police. You're going to do what is required to be a responsible bartender. With that being said, I have a question. Where are you working?
It's LA Pub and Grill on 59th and Lincoln,
Okay. Are you full-time or part-time?
part-time.
Do you work weekends, weekdays, nights?
Mixture of both, he changes it every week.
Okay, so you're placed where you need to be. Okay, I don't have any further questions. I'm gonna leave it up to the committee members. Anyone who wants to speak? There is no one to speak? All right. Well, as I explained, I truly believe that you need to take your license very seriously. We expect you to follow the rules. I will make a motion to approve. And we have a second. So there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to, oh, my pages are off. Item 66, 2024-0439, new operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Derek Sullivan. Is Mr. Sullivan here? Any correspondence?
No.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion denied based on non-appearance.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And the
Okay.
record?
And the record, yeah, that was stated. So there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, moving on to item 67, 2024-0473, renewal operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Elris Rios Martinez. Is Ms. Martinez here? And I'm sorry if I tortured your name. Please have a seat. As I stated before, the reason you're brought before the committee is because there's things that came up on your record, and I have to say, when I looked at it, there's a lot. What I'm seeing right here is about 20 different law interactions that has taken place over the course of not many years. The one that is a huge standout to me, that has a lot to do with your license activity, is resisting an officer.
Yes, I spoke about that last year. I remember it was New Year's Eve, and I had a lot to drink, and I thought I was getting into an Uber, but I was getting into a friend's car, and I barely remember the night or barely remember what happened with the police officer. I do remember that it was a ticket, and I wasn't arrested like overnight or anything like that.
Are you allowed to drink on the job?
No, I don't drink on the job.
Okay. Where are you working?
I'm working at JC's on 81st and National.
Okay. All right, I have great concerns about your renewal. I'm just gonna put it out there because considering all of these violations, it just shows an example that I don't know if you follow the law. And that bothers me personally. I don't know if any of the other committee
Madam
members
Chair?
would like to speak to it. Yes, Alderman Road?
I don't have the record here, but was it 5 driving without suspensions within like 8 months, correct? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 10 operating while suspended from the time period of November 2022 to May of 2024. 10. 10 individual times that you've been stopped by the police. Just, and then that's just for operating while suspended.
Yeah, I've been trying to take care of that, and every time something comes up, I had to fix my car.
Well, the thing is to not drive.
Okay,
Take the bus.
so to take the bus to take my kids to school.
Well,
And
you
to
have
go
to
to-
follow the law. You have to
I
obey
understand.
the law. That's
And,
important.
And I'm trying to get.
And I understand that life has demands as well, but we want our bartenders to obey the law, and it's important that you obey the law.
Understandable.
I'm not comfortable with renewing. I'm just not. And based on your response even to Alderman Haas, you know, these are things that are pretty simple. Follow laws, abide by them. We expect you to respect those laws, especially when you're being responsible for someone else in a tavern. And even just your response was, you know, what am I supposed to do? Take a bus to take my kids to school? It might not be related to the licensing activity, so I'm going to leave it at that. But just your record itself shows that you're not following the law. And I think that is substantially related to the licensing activity. So I'm not comfortable with the approval on the renewal. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say or if there's a motion. I don't want
You want
to.
to make a motion?
I can make a motion for non-renewal.
Is that your motion?
Yes, it's my
Okay,
motion.
second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, last on the agenda, item 68, 2024-0438, transient merchant license application for Elizabeth Flores representing Flores Chiquiles Los Villa LLC. Is Miss Flores here?
Hi.
Hi, Miss Flores, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. A couple things that came up. Ms. Flores, first and foremost, do you have a driver's license?
No.
Okay. And you are going to be operating a food truck? How is it going to get to its locations?
She has a driver with a driver's license.
Okay, so at no time do you drive?
No,
No.
she's not the driver.
Okay. Attorney Serwin, may I ask you a question, how that works when we offer, or if we would approve a transient merchant's license, that would give Mrs. Flores the opportunity to drive even if she chose to drive illegally?
No, she would have no chance of driving. Driving is illegal for her. She doesn't have a license, she cannot drive. The transient merchant wouldn't allow her to drive, but the question, I think, the bigger question is, on its face, it seems difficult to grant a food truck license to an individual who doesn't have a license to drive a truck, right? So who's the driver?
It's my employer.
Employer? Employee?
Employer.
Okay. Is that person identified anywhere on the transient merchant license or the food truck license or anything?
No.
No? Okay. Obviously, if you get caught driving a food truck, the cops could just tow the food truck at that point, right? You know that?
Yeah.
Because you don't have a license? Okay. Having a license is not a qualification for a transient merchant license. It's just the underlying fact that this is for a food truck is concerning. I think you would agree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay, thank you, Attorney Serwin. Another thing that came up that I think would be substantially related to this issue would be there is a couple theft charges on your record. Can you explain those? There's one 2008 retail theft and 2020 theft movable property misdemeanor that showed up.
¿Qué robaste?
No, es lo que, no lo que robé, es lo que me pusieron, dijeron que había salido, que yo había tomado algo, pero
Oh, okay.
fui a corte y eso lo quitaron porque no fue así.
That they had accused her of stealing somebody's identity, but that wasn't, like, it wasn't ended up being true, and she had already gone to court over that.
Okay. Attorney Serwin, was there a charge on that?
there's a charge and a conviction. I wouldn't have added it if there wasn't a conviction.
Okay,
You were
so-
convicted of that.
Que sí te acusaron a eso, básicamente.
No, no, no salía, bueno, me acusaron, pero no fui culpable.
They're saying that they accused her of it, but she came out, like, clean.
Okay, and our attorney is stating that there was
Dice que no,
a conviction on
Que
it.
no, que
que básicamente dice que no lo quitaron.
Attorney Serwin, if that was not correct, could that be corrected, or she would have to produce something to show that?
If it's not correct, then the works report is not correct.
Right.
It's in Waukesha.
chances of that would be pretty slim.
It'd be a court error.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that show in Milwaukee then? Like,
It's not a Milwaukee case.
oh, no, for the
It's a Waukesha case, but you know, this, when I try to,
Sir, if you're going to address the council, please request.
Oh,
Can you please state your name?
my name is Israel,
Can you spell that, please?
Israel,
And that last name?
Villarreal.
Villarreal.
This
Okay.
case is in Waukesha, but when it's over, it's supposed to be as clear. It's not show anything, you know. I don't know.
CCAP right here.
My lawyer, he say take off everything.
But I don't know why he showed that. But when I check the records in Milwaukee, when I take the license, it don't show anything.
Yeah, ma'am, did you pay a fine or did you go to jail at all? You would know
He
that
paid a
from-
file. He paid a file.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
CCAP reflects that it was amended down to a misdemeanor, which is what reflected on the document you provided. There was a fine of $326 and a DNA sample and surcharge.
Yeah.
Okay, so that isn't an error, that is a conviction.
Correct.
You admitted, you paid your fine.
Yeah.
Okay. These two things combined send up some red flags for me as one of the council, committee members. And is there any way that if this application came through, that there could be conditions on it? Or is there anything, like listing a driver, for example?
Sure, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
They can challenge it in court if they think that's inappropriate, but I think anytime a license is issued or this is even more loose than Chapter 125 license, alcohol licensing. We regulate most of this process. So if there's any conditions you want to place on the licensee at this time, I think that'd be appropriate.
Okay. Attorney Serwin explained that we can put conditions on this license. And that would be, my recommendation is that we have a driver, a valid licensed driver listed on that application. And I think that's minimal. Is
I'd also
there-
recommend that that person be at the truck, with the truck, at all times that it's in operation.
Okay.
Couldn't walk away in case police show up and say, this has got to move, you got to get this out of here. That licensed driver has to be on the food truck at all times.
Okay, thank you. I took that for granted just by stating there had to be a licensed driver. So with that being said, at all times of operation, that licensed driver has to be in that truck.
Yeah. The cooker guy, this is the guy the license and he moved the trailer.
Okay, so how do we do this, Rebecca? Do we amend it as the license right now and put in those conditions? Or do they have to, because obviously they have to present somebody and put them on that.
I think you can put the conditions on and then tell them they need to let us know who the driver is before we would issue.
And then we just check the report, the works report on it, if anything comes up on that? would
If
it
something
be an
comes up,
issue?
yeah, we can check that. That would be conditioned that there would have to be a licensed driver. Maybe they can provide us a list of maybe more than one, but
Okay.
one or,
And Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I don't want to limit who their licensed driver can be. I think
Right.
it's sufficient just to say they must have a licensed driver, whoever that might be.
Okay.
On site.
On
Yeah,
site.
at all
Sorry.
times. Okay, so with that being said, is there a motion?
Yeah, I move for approval, subject to the condition of the applicant having a licensed driver on the truck, in the vehicle at all times that it's in operation.
Okay.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The ayes have it. And I'm sorry, I've misstepped. I haven't asked for a discussion past the discussion. So with that being said, my group is done.
Hey,
Motion to adjourn, anyone?
Thank you.
I move we adjourn. Oh, second.
Okay, there we go. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
are you guys doing another one right away?
Yeah, we have to do
Public Works, do you need me?
Can you just check that out, make sure that comports with what?
Yeah, I think we have to wait a minute anyhow, because
Yeah, Marty
Alderman Weigel wanted to come up.
Talk on item 46, but
and then we'll have to.
Well, we can start and do the other items, right?
We only have one because,
We will, like,
okay, we'll call Public Works to order.
Well, that'll be a
Yeah, so we'll have to
discussion
hear.
point because Latoya and I have a lot of
We don't
questions.
hear?
Yeah.
Okay, all 5 members are present. Item 47 is being held tonight. Item 48 is being held tonight, so we will jump to,
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Steve Sher, yes,
On
please.
item 47, which is the ordinance for the scooters, the electronic scooters, changes there. That's a separate item from the pilot agreement. The line has requested that
Oh, sorry.
we hold the pilot agreement on item 40, on item 48.
Hold 48.
Hold 48, but on item 47, if the council so chooses, or committee so chooses, that could be acted on this evening.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, just for clarification, that would be the ordinance for zoning, correct? So it's not voting on the contract
On
or,
the chapter 10
Okay.
changes, yes.
So 47 is,
just the
47
zoning change?
Basing an ordinance allowing the electronic scooters with certain regulations within the city with respect
just so
to their
disorganized, it's
travel on
making
sidewalks and
Okay.
parking.
There you go.
Thank you.
all right.
Yeah, I'm.
Okay, we'll go with item 47 then.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Ordinance 2024-0022, ordinance to amend regulations related to electric scooter operation and allow limited short-term commercial rental.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Haas.
I move approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
And then also, yeah, Mr. Chair, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Steve.
Please.
Steve, please tell us, are we consistent with the city of Milwaukee? Do we differ from the city of Milwaukee with this? What's going on, please?
And tell us who you are, please.
Thank you. Steve Scher, Manager of Planning and Zoning, and I've been working with Lime a little bit on a pilot agreement along with our city attorney's office. And the ordinance is, Cale could probably advise you much better. He had crafted this and updated Chapter 1020 with respect to riding bicycles on sidewalks, and then Chapter 1023 with respect to electronic scooters. And as far as the comparison with Milwaukee, I don't have that answer at this time. They have the Lime scooters in operation. They went from a pilot agreement to now an agreement with Lime on an ongoing basis. But many of the things that are within this Chapter 10 change do comply with the state statutes, which the city of Milwaukee also does comply with. I think it is within the city's best interest to, the way this ordinance has been crafted, to ensure that, there are operating restrictions, there are parking requirements. Just taking a look at the different parts of the ordinance here.
Yeah, and Steve, I guess if I can get to the point that I was
Sure.
getting at, we're allowing Lime-type scooters, or whatever brand they might be, we're allowing them in our city, and they're not allowed on sidewalks. Those are the two big things.
Yes.
Am I correct with that?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And is this renewable every year?
Well, the pilot agreement will craft the term of operation, and that's item 48. That's the one that Lime has requested we hold. Their attorneys are looking at that pilot agreement that, that Cale and I put together.
Are they looking at like,
Well,
the question I just
they
asked?
haven't had a chance to fully review it, it seems, and so they will come back with their comments, and we'll see what changes they have in mind. But it's very similar to the one that was crafted for the city of Wauwatosa, who currently has Lime scooters. There are just some tweaks, again, that Cale has included within that I think they're still reviewing. So they didn't want us to act on it this evening, rather come back on the 30th of July with a
You know, is
possibly
Wauwatosa-
revised pilot agreement.
Wauwatosa's a 1-year renewable?
Theirs, I believe, is with the city of West Allis, the way ours is crafted, it would expire at the end of this year. So in December of this year, the term of operation would end, the scooters would be removed from the city of West Allis and put into storage, and then Lime would have to come back to us in 2025 and ask, craft another operating agreement with us, and which would come before
So
council.
we're on
Yeah.
a timeline
Yeah.
here. If we want to be scooting without snow.
It was moved and seconded. We've had our discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. We're gonna hold 48, correct?
Yes.
And
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
We have item, is Marty coming up? Is that where Nick went?
No, I went to go do this, but I go get him.
No.
You want, is that
We'll
okay?
be really slow.
Which one does Marty want to go on?
Item 46, the NNS phone, or well.
Yeah, well, we can act on 49?
Yeah, we can act on
I'm going
49.
on 49 right now.
Oh, okay.
Item 49.
Sorry, I'll be quiet, Dan.
Thank you.
Oh, the Chiefs.
Training class earlier?
Right?
I said I was sorry.
You didn't mean it. Item 49, Resolution 2024-0346, resolution authorizing staff to petition the Public Service Commission for a water rate increase.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Yes. So basically, what we heard from you guys is our water rates are going up 13.34%, like it or not, it's gonna happen, correct?
You're applying to the PSC in that manner. The PSC will review not only the application, they'll go back all the way to 2020 and review every penny that's been spent in the utility. So they can move that adjustment
They can move it which way?
up and down.
And so, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Sure.
And just so everyone gets this, the PSC exists because there's no market, because we have a water monopoly. And so back, I don't know, the 1930s, the Public Service Commission was created to try and be the market in regulating monopolies like water utilities, like electrical utilities. And so that's why we have to go to the PSC.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why we're known as the bubbler.
Would it be fair for me to say that the price of water isn't going up, it's the price of delivering it to your house is going up, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Water's pretty much staying.
The price to,
Static.
yeah, the price to treat it did go up. You did a pass-through adjustment in '23 because Milwaukee Water adjusted their rates, and then you can do a pass-through. Your operational expenses outside of that adjust accordingly. And right now, under the PSC math would say 13%, but there's, they do a review and that can go up and down. I would say within a variance of 95 to 102% in our experience, and we do the most of these in the state. So.
Recess, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion yet?
We had a motion and a second.
Oh, my God.
3 seconds.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, we've had our discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Drink up.
Mr. Chair,
What do we do about 46?
may I make a motion to recess items 46 until Alderman Weigel is here per his request?
Sure.
Then we can go off air and just reconvene.
And I'm just going, as a courtesy to him, because he wanted to talk about it.
Sure,
True
sure,
story.
which we would do to,
For anyone.
anybody.
Okay,
All right, so I make a motion to recess.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're recessed until Alderman Weigel shows up.
Okay.
They're on item 42.